Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and look at me. I can see myself, and I even look a little bit better. So it's great to be back. Starting to get back in the full of swing of things. I am feeling 80-85%, so we'll take that as a good thing. A lot of things into the news, a few topics that may be of interest, a few maybe not, but I'm going to throw them in there anyway. We're going to talk about some things. There is actually a special one that I'm going to hold on to. I am still digging into a little bit more research as I want to really kind of dive deep into this story a little bit and tie into something a little bit more on the fun side too, hopefully. So we'll see how the editing process in that one goes. Probably be one that you least want to know the beginning part of it. Maybe, depending on time, might come out tonight. More than likely, it'll come out tomorrow morning, and we'll see how all that goes. But buckle up. Here we go. Let's jump straight into this. And again, in no specific order, let's start out. So, one thing, though, that I want to start out with is keep this in the back of your mind. Okay, this is a data point back here. There is a kind of concerning increase in the amount that we're being told about these different solar activities that are happening. Now, the latest one that has come out was a Class X 2.5 that caused some pretty significant radio blackouts in the Indian Pacific area. So these are starting to a little bit more of an uptick, and we're starting to hear about them more and more. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind as we kind of move forward, especially throughout this year, because a lot of these people that are kind of some experts in these fields are saying it's just going to get worse. Okay, so let's go into the first major one. So the Washington Examiner released a story that there was an Iranian Navy rear admiral that declared that Iran has property rights in Antarctica, specifically the South Pole. Now, I'll let you dig into that one because that is kind of an interesting read if you're interested into that sort of thing. But if you've kind of taken that little bit of a rabbit hole, there is a major interest in a lot of developing and, kind of some superpower countries into these Arctic regions. Okay, there's a reason for it. We're not just going up there because we're short on ice cubes. So I'm going to just put that one out there for you if you want to dive into it. There you go. Next, the EU has come out and made a recommendation, sounded out there, for Ukraine today. And they basically said that they are now finding it necessary for Ukraine to rely on longer range weapons in order for them to reach the heart of Russia. So, way to make things more of an escalating sort of point. We'll see how that comes. I'm sure, a lot of this is just rhetoric and it's just warmongering and pounding of the chest and the threats and all this other stuff. Again, we say this over and over. Most of this is just words until there's actually an action behind it. We'll see, okay? There has been a lot more strikes inside of Russia. A lot of these have been drones and various other things. And I'm telling you, fifth generation is going on hardcore right now. Whether you want to agree or disagree, that's completely your prerogative. Okay, I'm telling you, fifth generation warfare is alive and well. Cyber warfare is alive and well. And it's one of those sayings, the first casualty before war can begin is the truth. And there's all sorts of ways that you can go in and do propaganda and all sorts of other pieces and whatnot. And that's why it's so important for you to research. If I mention a story and you dig into it and you go, whoa, you don't have all the facts or this or that or whatever, tell me. I will be more than happy to come on and go, you know what? Somebody pointed something out. I researched it. It's wrong. I need to update and correct it. Okay. But let's move on. So Venezuela has suspended the UN Rights Office today and has ordered all of its staff to vacate the country within 72 hours. Again, there's another nugget for you if you want to dig into that rabbit hole. Uh, I have said this, and I will continue to say this. I think I'm one of the only ones to say this. A lot of this, I think, shaping up for a potential World War III kind of looks like it's going to be a UN, maybe BRICS against NATO. And this is one of them ones, okay? Venezuela is kind of drawing the battle lines. Hey, you're not with us, get out of here. It's an interesting story on why they did it. Now, I want to mention one here before we move on. I've been keeping my eye on Haiti, okay? And I think this is escaping a lot of people because this is not in the mainstream news. Uh, the reason why is because there is pretty mass protest that's been going on in Haiti right now for a little over a week now. Uh, Haiti has suffered, and a lot of us, that are old enough to remember, uh, they have been hit with devastating storms and severe weather. Uh, they have a bad thing for corruption. They've had multiple foreign countries come in and do interventions. Uh, it's just part of that kind of Caribbean area down there that Haiti just seems to have all the bad luck. Um, they have a lot of corruption. They have a lot of domestic issues, poverty, gang violence. There is a kind of a voice out there right now that is calling for the youth to rise up in a rebellion. That's kind of seems to be part of what's going on, and I think a lot of the gang activity is taking advantage of it as well. But there's a lot happening down there. So I've been keeping my eye on it, trying to get a grasp of things, and then just seeing what develops in there. But we'll come back to that if I see something come out. All right, so you know what? And there's a lot that happened here in the U.S. Let's move over to the U.S. because there's quite a bit. Um, so first thing is the local resident of the White House was met by actual residents of East Palestine, Ohio today, where the resident in chief visited more than a year after the train incident, and it was not a very happy crowd. I did see there was two or three, whatever, to be fair. They rolled out a few people that shook his hand and did some other things, but from a lot of other social medias and things, there were a lot of chants that they were not happy about it at all. Um, so if you want to see it, it's all over the place. Next, if we want to talk about the White House, so the current administration's DOJ, and before I get into this is going to be one of them absolute absurd stories that if you have any of your friends believe that the current government or last whatever governments, that there's not a two-tier justice system, that there's not something fishy going on, okay, tell them to look at this story. So the current DOJ has filed a lawsuit against the state of Tennessee. Now, I know a bunch of you know different channels and different people that are in Tennessee, okay? And I'm sure they'll be making some videos about this. But the filed of the lawsuit is because Tennessee made it illegal for prostitutes to knowingly spread HIV. Okay, so let me say it again so you understand. Tennessee made it illegal for prostitutes to knowingly spread HIV. Okay, yeah, it should be illegal. The DOJ is suing the state of Tennessee saying, no, 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 that violates the Americans with Disabilities Act. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say to that. That is so absurd and so out there. Yeah, I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna let the Tennesseans take care of that one because uh, if that was Ohio, I would be focusing a lot of attention somewhere else. But uh, absurd. I'm gonna leave it there. Next, the U.S. Border Patrol acting deputy chief, Mr. Martinez, has been suspended, and this is for an alleged misconduct, whatever that means. I'm sure this is not going to be the first that we're going to hear of this. The way that all the border stuff is going on, I look for this to kind of be one of those sort of common things where kind of these officiating people is going to just suddenly, hey, here's a charge, here's a this, here's a that, and we'll probably see this as a reoccurring theme. Now, to keep that into it, there is a new threat from the White House that they are saying that they may have to, maybe forced to do a mass release of thousands of illegals that they have currently in holding because of lack of funding. And they're basically saying because the House of Representatives shot down the foreign aid bill and went on holiday. That's again another one of those your government at work for you. Hey, give us $95 billion to give to another country, and when they go, no, we're not doing that. They go, well, then I guess we're just going to have to let all these people that broke the law free to roam the country if you won't do that. This is absurd. Okay, I don't know how else to say that. It's absolutely absurd. Um, let's move on. I'm going to go on a little bit of an Elon Musk ride for a second. Okay, bear with me for a moment. So first one, let me post up a picture right here. So as you can see, Elon Musk posts on his social media on X, a basic cognitive test should not be something that someone who controls nuclear strikes is allowed to skip. Yeah, I agree, fully agree. That is one that if you are going to be in charge of the little red button, you probably should not be able to skip that. You are cognitively have the ability to be in control of that. Okay, well, I'm trying to search for the correct terms and word verbiage to be able to say that. Um, Now, if we're going to stay on the Elon Musk thing, there was a SpaceX Falcon 9 that launched this morning carrying a private lunar lander. Yes, if you paid attention, you heard that right. Lunar lander. That means that if this is a successful mission, this will be the first American spacecraft to land on the moon in more than half a century. Okay, now I know I'm going to probably get at least a dozen people that's going to say that we never landed on the moon in the first place. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. All I'm saying is, uh, if it was real, it's been more than 50 years since America was able to put anything back on the moon. If it was fake, it's been more than 50 years before we're about ready to fake another one. Okay, so we'll see how all that turns out. Um, and then the last thing for Elon Musk before we leave that one is let me share this post right here. The public still doesn't understand even a tiny fraction of the power of the censorship government industrial complex. As predicted, my companies and I are under relentless attacks. Sorry, the way that I did that. Under relentless attacks the moment the censorship of this platform was lifted. How far will they go to stop me? Now, I don't know about you, but that last line was a little ominous. I don't know if that was meant to be dramatic. I don't know if that was a, uh, hey, I'm not going to have those types of thoughts or whatever. Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into that last line, but uh, that's it raised a red flag to me. But we'll wait and see what that has to come out. And yeah, I'm sure that of all people, Elon's pretty okay. I would say, at least security wise. But let's go to the very last thing for the sake of time on this one. So a new report that came out, released, and would showcase some very simple math. And this simple math was that if the U.S. stays on its current trajectory, that the national debt will be double the annual GDP by 2050. Okay, keep that in mind. It is 2024. So we're talking 26 years, less than that, because we're almost into March now. So in 25 and whatever months, we're going to have a national debt that is double our entire economy. Now, I know some of us are a little bit on the older side, okay, but 25 years isn't that long, okay? For me personally, that's kind of close to about the time that I plan on retiring. Uh, I mean, it's one of those that will there be a retirement? Will there be a social security for me? It's a little concerning. Bigger concern, I have little rural that in 25 years, you know, he's going to kind of be in the prime of his life. He might inherit a country to where the debt is double the GDP. That's alarming. That's concerning. If that's one of the ones that doesn't keep people up at night, I mean, I don't know what else to say. There's so much going on. There's so many reasons to prep. And then it's not a thing anymore to where it is you're a prepper and you must be one of them basement dwelling tinfoil hat lunatics. No, I posted it over yesterday. I shared it from somebody else. I didn't come up with it, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I am a something doesn't add up type of person, and it's blatantly obvious. All this stuff that I've gone through, several of them in particular, this is lunacy. Think about it from where it is now. If you were to go back and talk to yourself that you were in the ninth or 10th grade and tell yourself some of the things that's going on today, would you be shocked? Or would it be, nah, I could see that happening? Or, me personally, I would be like, no, you're nuts. That's impossible. That cannot happen. I mean, I almost feel that we're that hair away from losing our country. I read this today and I don't know who to give credit to, so again, don't give me the credit for it. But it's the freedoms that you give up today is the freedoms your grandchildren will never even know existed. That is scary, and that really resonated with me. And that makes me want to fight even harder for the basic things that I grew up and I enjoyed. That I was able to walk out my front door and walk down the street to a playground, or to walk home from school, or to do a bunch of the things, get on your bike and just ride around. Everything was great. We were able to go outside and play. It was one of the things that you got to enjoy. You weren't glued to a TV screen. You actually interacted with people. And those were really great memories. And it was freedom as a child to be able to grow and experience. And to have that today, that these children, a lot of them will never experience that. And a lot of them, they can't. I feel sad for some of these people that are growing up in some of these really dangerous inner cities. I don't understand. I cannot comprehend somebody being born in downtown Detroit or Chicago or anything like that, to where They can. You could not let your child walk out the door alone. You might not even be comfortable taking the child yourself outside. Uh, it's absolutely crazy to me. And I get to get up every day and be thankful that I can open my front door and let my child go play in the backyard and know that for what it's worth, there is a safety here. Yes, I understand that some rogue thing might happen or there might be a stray dog or something of this or that or whatever. Yes, I keep an eye on my child. Okay, I don't need anybody coming in and saying that. But I can be working in the garden and he can be playing in the yard in eyesight, and I can turn my back knowing we're okay out here. Okay. I mean, my guard is usually not 100% down. So keep that in mind, people. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Book's closed. So I'm going to go and jump off and do some editing. I wanted to do a little bit more research before I put out my other video. I do have some different people I am talking to. I'm actually talking to a few to bring back on to do some second interviews. So if there's anybody you would like me to talk to, shoot me an email, leave them down here in the comments below. We do have some more exciting things coming up, and as well as I have something exciting planned for my 500th video. Now, it's not that far away, so I'm sure that some of you are going to like it. So if you stayed with me for this long in the video, guess what? 2 of them, you rock. Appreciate it. Thank you for spending a little bit of your time with me. I hope you guys have a really blessed night. And with that, I'm going to sign off. So say it with me now. Above everything else, please remember to remain united. We're all prepping in this together.